Have you ever stood in a supermarket aisle, staring at a wall of 100 different kinds of cereal, and just felt overwhelmed? You think, I just want breakfast, not a life-altering decision. If that sounds familiar, you've experienced what psychologists call the paradox of choice. It's this strange idea that while we think more options make us happier, they often do the exact opposite. They can lead to paralysis, anxiety, and even dissatisfaction with the choice we finally make. Today, we're going to dive deep into why this happens and what you can do to reclaim your sanity in a world of endless possibilities. Let's start with a classic experiment conducted by psychologists Sheena Iyengar and Mark Lepper. They set up a jam-tasting booth in a grocery store. On one day, they offered 24 different kinds of jam. On another day, they offered only 6. Now, which booth do you think attracted more people? You guessed it, the one with 24 jams. It was a spectacle. But here's the twist. When it came to actually buying the jam, the people who saw only 6 options were 10 times more likely to make a purchase than those who saw 24. Isn't that wild? The booth with more choices led to fewer sales. This is the paradox in action. When faced with too many options, we freeze up. This is called analysis paralysis. The sheer volume of information is too much for our brains to process effectively, so we end up choosing nothing at all. Think about scrolling through Netflix for an hour, only to give up and watch nothing. That's analysis paralysis. So why does our brain do this? It comes down to a few key psychological factors. First, there's the burden of evaluation. Each new option requires mental effort. You have to compare features, prices, and potential outcomes. Comparing 3 pairs of sneakers is manageable. Comparing 30, it's a full-time job. Your brain gets fatigued, and the whole process starts to feel like a chore rather than an exciting opportunity. Second, there's the fear of missing out, or FOMO. With so many alternatives, you start to worry that you're going to make the wrong choice. What if the cereal you didn't pick tastes better? What if the other vacation destination would have been more fun? The more options there are, the easier it is to imagine a better alternative, and the more pressure you feel to pick the perfect one. This quest for perfection is exhausting and often impossible. And that brings us to the third and perhaps most insidious problem: post-decision regret. Let's say you finally make a choice after agonizing over dozens of options. You buy the new TV, but instead of feeling happy, you feel a nagging sense of doubt. You keep thinking about the features of the other TVs you didn't buy. This is called buyer's remorse. The opportunity cost, meaning the value of the options you gave up, feels huge. When you only had a few choices, it's easy to feel confident you made the right one. But with countless alternatives, it's almost guaranteed that some other option had a feature yours doesn't, making you less satisfied with what you have. Your expectations also get inflated. With so many choices, you expect to find the absolute perfect one. So when your chosen option turns out to be merely good instead of life-changingly perfect, it feels like a letdown. This paradox doesn't just apply to buying things. It affects our careers, our relationships, and even our life goals. In the past, many people had a relatively clear career path, maybe following in their parents' footsteps. Today, we're told we can be anything we want to be. While that's liberating, it can also be terrifying. The pressure to choose the right career that is both fulfilling and financially stable can be immense. Similarly, with dating apps, we have a seemingly infinite pool of potential partners. But swiping through endless profiles can make it harder to commit to one person, as you're always wondering if someone better is just another swipe away. This can lead to a constant state of searching and a difficulty in finding deep, lasting satisfaction. So are we doomed to be miserable in this world of infinite choice? Absolutely not. The key is not to eliminate choice, but to manage it. We need to become what author Barry Schwartz calls satisficers instead of maximizers. A maximizer is someone who needs to be sure that every purchase or decision is the absolute best possible. They will research endlessly and agonize over every detail. A satisficer, on the other hand, has a set of criteria and standards. And once they find an option that meets those standards, they make a choice and move on. They are looking for good enough, not the absolute best in the universe. And guess what? Studies show that satisficers are consistently happier, more optimistic, and less prone to regret than maximizers. So how can you become a happy satisficer? Here are some practical strategies. First, know what you want before you look. Don't just walk into the store and see what's available. Decide on your top 2 or 3 most important criteria beforehand. For example, if you're buying a camera, you might decide you need it to be lightweight and have good video quality. That's it. Ignore all the other bells and whistles. This immediately narrows down your options and makes the decision manageable. Second, limit your options deliberately. Give yourself a rule. Say, I will only look at 5 restaurants on the food delivery app, or I will only try on 3 pairs of jeans. This creates artificial constraints that free you from the burden of endless evaluation. Trust me, it feels incredibly liberating. You can also rely on trusted sources for recommendations. Instead of researching every single hotel for your vacation, ask a well-traveled friend for their top 2 recommendations. Let someone else do the heavy lifting of curation for you. Third, once you've made a decision, commit to it and don't look back. Stop researching other options. Hide the ads for similar products. Focus on the positive aspects of the choice you made. Practice gratitude for what you have, rather than longing for what you don't. Remember, good enough is often perfect. You don't need the best smartphone on the market. You need a smartphone that works for you. You don't need the most exotic vacation ever. You need a break that recharges you. And finally, learn to embrace the irreversibility of some decisions. We often think keeping our options open is a good thing. But sometimes making a final, irreversible choice can actually increase our satisfaction. Psychologists have found that when a decision is final, our brain's psychological immune system kicks in. We start to rationalize why our choice was the right one, and we feel happier with it. So don't be afraid to commit. Choose a path, buy the ticket, sign the contract. Closing the door on other possibilities allows you to fully invest in and enjoy the path you're on. The paradox of choice is a modern dilemma, but it's one we can conquer. By understanding the psychology behind it and consciously changing our approach, we can turn the overwhelming noise of options into a manageable set of possibilities. It's about shifting your mindset from a stressful quest for perfection to a satisfying search for good enough. This frees up your mental energy for the things that truly matter, allowing you to live a happier, more decisive, and less regretful life. So the next time you find yourself frozen in that cereal aisle, take a deep breath. Remember your criteria. Maybe it's just healthy and not too sweet. Grab the first box that fits and walk away feeling like a champion. You've just beaten the paradox. Thanks so much for watching. If this video helped you feel a little less overwhelmed, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into how our minds work.